Paladins, Champions of the Realm, is the latest game from hi-rez Studios. Likely the only reason you've ever heard of them before is if you've played Smite, a MOBA that's been around for a few years, competing with the likes of League of Legends and Dota 2. Paladins entered a long-term open beta phase a couple of weeks ago, and I've been playing it. These are my first impressions.
We dwarves are natural fighters! I just hope you lads can keep up!
Paladins looks an awful lot like Smite, as far as art style and rendering are concerned, but to be clear, it is not a MOBA. No, it's first person, and doesn't recycle the 3-lane minion-based capture format that defines MOBAs. Instead, Paladins is pretty clearly an entry into the world of team-based shooters. Or, considering their emphasis on characters instead of classes, you could more specifically call it a hero shooter. Or, look, I'll just get this out there. I'm not saying it's a blatant copy of Overwatch, but I'm not saying it isn't either. Every match I play makes me think that somebody over at hi-rez saw the first gameplay trailer for Overwatch more than a year ago and went, hey, we could do that. So yeah, it's an upbeat character-based team FPS with an emphasis on 4 character groupings and an array of unique character skills that encourages diverse team compositions. It's a lot like Overwatch, but it's probably not a copy. They may have been going for a similar tone, but the gameplay carries a lot of the MOBA heritage you might expect from the makers of Smite, so it's actually more like Battleborn than Overwatch, even if it doesn't have any MOBA-like game modes the way Battleborn does. It's like if Battleborn and Overwatch had a baby, actually. In its current state, that's pretty much exactly what Paladins is. But it is in beta still, so there's no telling whether they'll add MOBA-style matches or not. There will be more characters coming down the road, and there's always balance tweaks and other minor changes to be made. I don't want to make it sound like the game isn't fun. Just because it's a lot like 2 other really good games doesn't mean it's a bad game. I mean, obviously, it's exactly the opposite. It's a lot like 2 other really good games, which makes it a really good game. It's pretty fun, and it's got some stuff going for it. First off, unlike in Overwatch, Paladins gives you some character customization options. Using these sort of trading card deals, you can give your characters different buffs and traits to better match your playstyle. Cards are won from loot boxes, which you can buy or earn by leveling up. This means that even though you'll almost always end up going against someone else playing your character on the other team, they won't play exactly the same as you, making them slightly harder to predict and keeping things interesting. Paladins also uses an in-match character improvement system similar to most MOBAs, where you will earn points during play that you can use back in the base to buy some upgrades. It's similar to Battleborn's Helix system, but instead of focusing on upgrades tailored to each hero, they're standard across all the heroes. That makes it easier to learn all the combinations, which allows you to more quickly make your decisions based on the character you're playing. The game is also pretty forgiving of what I like to call chronic button masher syndrome. In Overwatch, it doesn't seem to matter how much I practice spotting situations tailored to my hero's skills. I still have these fantastic panic reactions in which I will totally waste an ability and then die 3 seconds later because it was cooling down when I really needed it. But Paladins is a little more hectic, a little less organized, and the abilities cool down quickly enough that just mashing your ability buttons all the time usually works out as long as you're pointing it in the right direction. In fact, that's maybe the biggest difference between Paladins and those other games. It's even easier. It's even more approachable. The character abilities have pretty short cooldowns and are fairly straightforward. Movement, placement, and strategy are all explained by the names of the character groupings. While Battleborn requires focus and a pretty deep familiarity with your character to be effective, Paladins rewards effort of pretty much any level. Where Overwatch continues to yield new depths of skill in exchange for continued practice and play, Paladins lets you get up to speed quickly and start contributing to your team without much trouble. So yeah, Paladins feels a little derivative. Whether that was by design, or whether it was just an unhappy circumstance of Blizzard and Gearbox beating them to the punch by 4 months, it's the case. But the game is fun, it's more approachable than the others, and it doesn't hurt that it's free to play. Whether it will continue to be rewarding after a few months of playing it I can't say, but I'm having enough fun that I'll probably find out. So go ahead, download it, it's free. And I can almost guarantee that you'll get at least a few hours of good fun out of it. Just keep in mind, it's a beta, meaning that some of the scenery hasn't advanced as far as being corporeal yet. Maybe there's a card for that. What's the best bug you've ever seen in a beta or early access game? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and follow the links in the description for more from Calling All Platforms. We'll see you next time.